Welcome to ISRA League's Grand Touring Championship, brought to you by the Z1 SimWheel LCD display software. You can go to z1simwheel.com and get software that can put all of the dashboards for all the cars in iRacing onto a separate screen on your computer for additional viewing and also telemetry displays. Very helpful for you, so check it out at z1simwheel.com. Well, we start here in Season 11, Race 2 at Okayama, with Mike Kelly taking the top spot in the standings for Corvette, followed by Todd Carver and Tim Stahl, real close, and Lauren Bateman, Daniel Buck, also very close behind. Just Race 2, so no big surprise. All the points are split by either 2 or 3 points, depending on whether or not they led a lap. In GT3, we've got James Cullen taking the lead, with Anthony Muniz second, Corey Davis third, Brian Carey fourth, Daniel Gralty fifth, Colin McLean sixth, Daniel Quarterly seventh, Daniel Verness eighth, Jeremy Burris ninth, and whoops, I missed the 10th. So there you go, the standings as we enter this first race now, or second race. Remember that we're going to have a drop week, so after this we're going to factor that in, so the standings may not change too much after this race, but going forward in the season they will. So finally, let me introduce Brian Carey to take us through the map of Okayama.
Alright, here, this is a former Grand Prix track. It's actually built as a private rich guy track there in Japan, but it's hosts a number of good races. The first corner is aptly named First Corner. You've got Williams corner number 2 through the Moss S's. Atwood Curve, corner number 4, is a very important corner, as you're going to see a lot of passing heading towards turn 5. It's a hairpin, which is called the hairpin. And then we have Revolver, Piper, Redmond, and Hobbs at corners 8 and 9 are extremely tight and very difficult to get right, so look forward to that in an exciting race.
And in the Corvette,
Anthony Muniz, sorry.
That's all right. Wyatt Foster's on the pole with Kevin Sawa just behind on second. Todd Carver and Daniel Buck on the second row with Lauren Bateman. David Scott on the fourth or second, and Brian takes on GT3.
Oh, it's a Dan.
Okay, sure. So Leandro Schmidt, a newcomer to the league, is on the pole here. Brian Carey next to him on the front row. Then James Cullen and Robin Ainsko on second. And Anthony Muniz, and man, I made those short, on the third row. I'll have to extend the time
hopefully
there.
Hopefully you caught it. Look at how close those times were. Just a few hundred separating some of those times.
Yeah, I said it before, but we don't come here for the qualifying. We come here for the race. So that's what we're looking forward to, is Todd Carver leads the field around here, all behind the safety car, obviously, but...
Well, it is a short pace lap. The safety car is already in, and the cars are about to go onto the front straight, and they will just get started in a moment here. Oh, he's holding back, There he goes. And across the start to start the clock.
Well, Savoy aggressive on the outside here, trying to go over the outside of Carver. I don't think he's going to get it done. It's a long way around, but he's going to be on the inside for the next corner. And now we've got a lot of craziness happening back in the McLarens here, so just sit back and watch, because stuff is going to happen. Looks like Gaines go down the inside of my colleague Muniz there, so it looks like he might have... Oh, maybe not. Muniz is holding on. Oh, look, Muniz is definitely holding around the outside and doing very well.
Back a little bit further in GT3, Morsdorf heading down into corner 4. Looks like he's got someone on the inside. Yep, and that must be Gralty there up on the inside. And also a 4GT makes a pass on Morsdorf.
Verness and Burris are right up there.
Yeah, see that. So 4GT is having a bit more pace here at Okayama than they were at Spa. So look for them to be contenders at the front of the field. Back into the GT1 class as they make their way through that tight 7 and 8 corners. Ooh, Alex Baleo and Blake Brown here.
We got Blake Brown, yes, went off a little bit, and Alex Baleo was able to get around him. And James Cullen right at the back of the Corvette field. You can see, I believe that's... is that Stephen Clark? No. That's Sean Kelly. Way back. Oh, and
whoa, craziness.
That was not Kuzland.
I think it was Kuzland, actually. It spun in the Corvette. Blocking the road there, and people diving out of the way. I think Schmidt was involved in a way and got contact there, I believe.
There's Kevin Lawrence, one of the newcomers there, in the New York Giants sponsored car. It's kind of an interesting paint scheme there. And Tim McLeish, another 4GT, battling with him back there in a certain position.
And it looks like Blake Brown picked up the 10th spot again when he got past Kuzland. Nice close racing there with Stahl, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a great run coming down into turn 5, the hairpin. He's going to take a peek up on the inside. Soul's going to give him room going through. Let's see if he can get the momentum coming off the corner. Looks like he does, but Soul is still there as they head into turn 6, and he's going to hold on to that position. Brown is going to have to defend now from Bilal, and he's able to sneak his way through going into turn 7 and gets that, 11th position there away from Brown.
It's Tim Stahl way back down the Corvette field there. Normally see him further up ahead, but this is Leandro Schmidt down at 14th. I'm not sure what happened to him. It looks like there might have been an incident there at the beginning. He was right up the front of the field.
He was caught up in that spin here, just exiting turn 10, or turn 9 rather, with the Corvette.
And jumping up to 4th, looking at Robin Ainsko behind Brian Carey in 3rd. And wow, those McLarens are still very close. Very good racing here at the beginning.
Also have Jason Molina just behind, trailing those two guys battling. So if one of them makes a tiny mistake, he's going to be there to pounce.
Like Anthony Muniz there, going off track slowly, kicking up some dirt, but holding on all right. And Blau is going after Tim Stoll here, see if he can make the pass going into the hairpin.
He's taking a peek up on the inside. Couldn't quite get it done that time by like Brown tried the previous lap, so still holds on to that 9th position. On board the, quickly I'll go on board with Schmidt as they make their way down towards turn 5. He's got Verness up in front of him in that Ford GT. You can see the Corvette there making his way through. I believe that is John Kelly, who was very slowed down by the crash we had in the opening lap, so he's trying to fight his way back through the GT3 field. He's losing a lot of times to the class he's competing with, but he's just about to the front, so hopefully it won't be too much longer until he breaks free.
And looking at Robin Ainsko here in the number 46 Turn 1 Heroes car, he just posted a video of himself at Laguna Seca, actually driving, I believe it was a Lotus Elise. Can't remember exactly what, just a Lotus USA series or whatever, but pretty damn awesome to see that in real life. So good to see some real life racing happening here also in the sim world.
And Ainsko very close there to Carey as he was taking a little peek as they made their way towards turn 1. Meanwhile, back up in the GT1 class, still under pressure from Bilal. Making their way through turn 4. He's really close with as they exit the corner, heading down towards that turn 5 hairpin. And I definitely think he's going to be able to make the pass here. He's alongside, and as long as he doesn't mess up the braking zone. Ooh, a little bit more cautious there on the inside, still able to keep it on the outside. Oh, there's contact between the two. And I think that might have, I'm not sure if it's sent Stoll all the way around, but he definitely is going to lose a couple positions because of that.
I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah, he appears to have sent around, but hope he's got off the track there. And there's Stoll as well, off again. I don't know, it didn't look like it's kind of hard to tell when you're on board like that. It didn't look like Blau ran wide at all. His inside wheels were on the curb, but without the benefit of replay, I can't really see. But regardless, Tim Stoll has dropped further back down the field there.
And Wyatt Foster, his teammate, is now ahead of him. Wyatt, I guess, came from behind as well.
He just felt he needed to challenge this race. He started from, I think, behind the McLarens, in fact.
I think he was suffering from connection issues. Connection issues this race, so he's had to didn't make it on the grid, so he started behind every single car. So it's going to be a lot of work for him to make his way back to the front of the GT1 class where he qualified.
Turn 1 heroes, Verness and Briss. Briss ahead of Verness.
Yeah, I like their paint scheme this year. It's a little bit more, I'm not sure traditional is the right word, because I think they've run some pretty cool last few years sponsor cars, but now they look more like a team. It's going to be a little harder for us to distinguish between the two. And that's a John Kelly off again, and Colin McLean off. On the track.
Same corner as well. And actually, I was right behind that when it happened. Kelly went for a pass on McLean, and contact ensued under braking.
There we go. It's a pass for Leandro Schmidt on Daniel Verness, so that's a big pass there. But yeah, that's what I was noticing too with this track here, because a lot of the Corvettes, especially those first lap incidents, when they drop back, they're basically racing for position at that point too. So you're not going to be, McLarens and Fords are going to make it too hard on them. But that being said, they're not going to move over for them either. So I was noticing a lot of difficulty, I guess, with the slow starting Corvettes coming back to the field.
And also because they are still technically battling. Oh, as we have got a battle here between McLean and Jerry Morsdorf. Morsdorf looks like he's on the inside, so he's going to have the advantage. Colin McLean, oh, he's pulling into the pit, so it looks like he must have picked up some damage when from Kelly's failed overtake there into turn 4, so that's going to drop him well down the field as we go on board with Brent Briles, who's also, looks like he must be passing McLean in the pit lane. But
that was John Kelly going by for position.
Oh, okay, that could be too. Yeah, because right now the McLarens are not getting the blue flag. Oh, and that might be Schmidt going around exiting turn 2 rather. I think it was. So that's going to drop him back down the field. But yes, was good. My point is McLarens aren't getting blue flags from any of the passing Corvettes who are technically not actually, or technically are racing them right now. They're not putting a lap on them, so that could be another thing that if McLarens are focused on a battle that's in front of them, like these guys are right here, not necessarily going to be looking out for the faster Corvettes coming through.
And teammates Muniz and Carey up in second and third. Let's see, we've got James Cullen only 3.5 seconds ahead, so that's actually not too bad. They're doing a good job keeping up with him so far in this race. Oh,
whoa, that was a very interesting looking spin.
And we got off the track without any incident. That was good.
Yeah, this is this tight left-right section to the back of the circuit. They're just really, really tight corners. And I was trying to mention during the track map there, the right-hander goes uphill a little bit and kind of campers away from the car, so really hard to put the power down. And I guess that's a good way to see who's who. There's Burris up ahead of Verness, a big name right on the front of that windscreen there. So I guess you just have to look for that in the head-on shots. Yeah, this is all for position here. I think we got a Corvette coming back to the field. I'm not sure who that is. Is that John Rosettos?
Oh, yes, John Rosetto, sorry.
Thought I got a glimpse of the number 8 there, but I just don't recognize his paint scheme yet. Very hard right now. This track is also very narrow too, so he's just going to split the middle there, and he should be able to get by no problem. But the other thing too is those Corvettes coming down here into the hairpin, which is turn 5, brake a lot earlier than the Fords and the McLarens. So when they're coming through, if they pull back online a little too soon, it's going to cause a few moments there. So watch out for that.
Oh, and Wyatt Foster now looks like he's caught up with the tail end of the Corvettes. He's battling with Chuck Chambliss right now for 12th position in GT1. Chuck doesn't make that too much of a battle for him.
And still nice and close there between 8th and, 12th in GT3.
Now, let's look at that Corvette. John Kelly is trying to make his way back through the field. I think he's probably done this a couple times, so that's separating these guys up just a little bit right now.
So it's a tough one there going into the hairpin, because he's going to be able to out-drag those guys going up the hill. So coming in late into a section there where McLaren will naturally out-brake that Corvette is that's where he had his incident with the claim there. So it's a touch risky, but looks like they all got away from that all right.
And it looks like Schmidt did not quite get the pass off, although he was on the inside, so it's possible it could still happen. And there's a yellow Corvette headed into the pits.
That's who it is. So he's pitting a bit early right now. I'm not sure if this is what would be his scheduled stop to make it to the end. Seems a bit early to me.
Yeah, I had no idea what fuel mileage is on these Corvettes, so...
Meanwhile, Alex Bleo here, I believe he's a teammate with Schmidt in the GT3 car, so both those guys running on the same team, just in different classes. That is Daniel Buck, who is very slow there on the back straight, heading down towards the hairpin. No idea if he has some sort of issue right now or what, but he's currently running in 11th, and he has dropped a couple spots since we saw that, so might have a problem right now.
Interesting little pickup there going through the first corner. I don't know if he's feathering the throttle or if that's just the inherent lag of the simulation coming through there, but it did sound definitely interesting. That was a cool shot right here coming up towards turn 4 with Hire coming down the inside of Snyder, but going on the outside. It's the old inside-outside trick, I guess. Just went a little too outside.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. It looked like he made the pass on the inside. Looked like he got the car slowed down fairly well. He was a little bit wide going through and to the apex, but looks like unfortunately he lost quite a bit more time. Meanwhile, right on board with Verness, he's battling with our own Daniel Quaroni just up in front of him for 7th position in GT3. Well, here's Jeremy Burris, who was right in amongst that battle between, well, quite a few cars, 6th to basically 10th place or so. He looks like he's fallen back. He's currently running in, where is he? Well, he's out of our
15th.
top 15th. So, yes, he's had some issue somewhere, an off. So he's doing his best to fight his way back through the field.
He's not going to have the legs going on the straightaway here on the McLaren, but looks like he's a lot quicker through the twisty bits, so there are enough left-right corners, as we are right now, right-left, I guess, in this case, that he might be able to do a kind of a switchback and do an undercut coming out of one of these corners, but we'll see if he's able to do that entering turn 4. If not, he won't get him down the straightaway, but, oh, here he goes, down the inside. There. I was going to say nice and clean, but unfortunately he's over-rotated it, and he's going to have to try again. Luckily he didn't hit anything.
And here's a fight in GT1 about mid-pack. We've got Ryan Huff in that number 41 SRN Corvette fighting with John Kuzlin just up in front. Kuzlin holding on to that P6 position, and they have pretty much separated themselves from the guys in front and the guys behind at the moment, so those guys fighting it out for 6th position. Brian taking a little peek there on the inside going into turn 1.
Yeah, Anthony was able to cleverly get by me at the little start melee there, so so I'm able to stick with him pretty good, but realized it's kind of a, stick with another driver is one thing, but I also found that if you're not following someone, it's kind of hard to maintain speed, so.
Also, I think because we're on board here, this is a nice shot of how these cars are kind of reacting through some of these corners. This track, for a lot of people, myself included, kind of felt like, I guess the best way to describe it is almost like this is a newly paved circuit, and there isn't a whole lot of rubber on the I'm not sure if this is asphalt or if this is concrete, but not a whole lot of grip to that in this race.
For sure it's asphalt, but one thing I do know is a lot of the corners are not cambered. There are a lot of off-camber corners, and the camber tends to fall away. Like there will be crowning on the road here, on your left for rain drainage. So like the left side will drain to the left, the right to the right, obviously. And find you get along the holy jeez, that is close as for late. Don't hit him. Oh, he didn't hit him, but he went off the track, so that's going to separate. Oh, he didn't, maybe.
We might have.
Well, at least they're both braking pretty deep there. So, well, it looks like everything's all right for the most part, but it looks like Lauren Bateman's going to have a chance at Savoy here. As I was just saying, is a lot of the corners, you get that off-camber feeling, which really, and especially those tight corners we're coming up to right now, turns 8 and 9, right here, turn 8 coming through here, and then especially turn 9, just super hard to put the power down, even when your tires are fresh, so...
And that little incident at the top of the GT1 field has really closed quite a bit of these battles up here as Kuzlin pulling into the pit lane. And this is also quite early, but I also think that this is probably the first time that you can pit and make it to the end, because Kuzlin, as we know, is quite smart with his pit strategy. So I have a feeling that he'll be able to make it to the end. We'll have to see how a very early pit stop plays out throughout the race.
Yeah, I have to believe that they're good for 52 minutes plus an extra lap.
Oh, wow, that was very late on the brakes there from Gralty. Nearly ran into the back Leonardo Schmidt, or Leandro Schmidt, excuse me.
Just the most phonetic thing. See those letters in his name, you just assumed it's Leonardo, not Leandro, but we'll probably do that several times, both of us. Yeah.
Another late braking there from Schmidt as they made their way into turn 8. Nearly got into the back of, who is that, in the Verness there in the Ford GT. And Qualroni's still leading this little group. Looks like they've managed to lose a couple cars, I think, that were trailing behind. Maybe only just one. But, oh yeah, we lost one Ford GT, Burris, who fell back quite a ways now. So, but Qualroni doing a good job holding on to that 7th position.
And also, for those of you wondering too, perhaps watching this now, wondering why I haven't done this one yet, is there's, oh no, there's a car off, and that is higher?
No, that is Mike Young, yeah.
Very similar color cars there, but hopefully didn't damage the car too bad, but it looks like he might have. But like I said, in case you're wondering why this hasn't been done yet, we actually did record this one several weeks ago, but unfortunately there was an issue with the sound, so we had to re-record it, and also some issues with the telemetry. So we have watched this race, we've participated in it, we've watched it, because it was a while ago. I don't remember all the details of the race, but I might foreshadow some things unintentionally here, and I apologize for that in advance. And there's Mike Young coming back, taking the rallycross line on the outside there. He must be damaged pretty badly, just trying to get out of everyone's way, otherwise he wouldn't be doing that. Yeah, no, he's coming back to the inside, so lots of damage, number 21 Red Bull car.
You can see in the nice screen up at the top of Burris's car, Mike Young battling it out, although falling back behind a bit there.
When Gralty's going to have a run here on Schmidt as they head down towards turn 1. Looks like he definitely got off the final corner better. He's going to take a dive on the inside, couldn't quite get it done. There's a couple different ways you can take turn 1, and looks like Schmidt decided to go a little bit later on the brakes, trying to take a little bit more momentum through there, and it worked out well for him that time. Who is this? We've got Stoll here, the number 77 turn 1 Heroes car. He's just behind Chuck Chambliss. These guys are battling it out for 13th position.
A cool camera shot over the fence here, looking for these guys coming in the straightaway. Just at the braking zone, basically.
And Stoll did get it slowed down, and he's able to get the power off, but Chambliss still fighting back as they head through 6 and 7. Still side by side. Chambliss taking a lot of curbing there. Let's see if that slows him down, his exit speed down. And it looks like it does, but he's going to fight back up on the inside going into turn 8.
Stoll's got the inside for the next corner, but will he get to the inside? Oh,
No,
that is
wow.
fantastic racing, boys.
I thought Stoll had it there. Very nicely done, Chuck.
Yeah, that was a great side as Chambliss headed through turn 9 to get that position. Well done. These guys fighting for second place in class. Bateman now holding that position over Kevin Zawa. And Ty Carver 2 seconds in front of these guys here. So he's managed to separate himself a bit. But these guys having a hard fight there for second place as Zawa takes a lot of curve. They're going through turn 10.
Oh, that was a little bit of a getting a good run coming out of turn 1 there, coming up behind Dan coming out of the corner there. And So he's got the speed to the corners here, but I don't think he's got enough of the grunt to get by him on the straightaways, and Dan is doing everything he can to hold off Ernest at this point.
Yeah, it looked like...
Battle for 6.
Oh yes, they've moved up spot. It looked like Dan had a pretty big twitch of oversteer coming out of that corner, and oh wow!
Holy Chambliss! Chuck, okay, well there goes that battle there. Till it seems like it's quite easily. I think Chuck must have missed his braking there and tried to avoid the McLaren up ahead. Which I guess is James Collins. Is that who that is, or is that
No,
Robin?
that was Ainscough.
Oh right, yeah. Oh geez, he almost hit me. Shakes his fist at Chuck. And this happened like a month and a half ago.
Oh, and the we're focusing on 2 teammates here, but now we'll focus on David Scott and Ryan Huff. These guys fighting it out for a top 5 spot in GT1. Scott holding on to that 5th position at the moment. Back with Quaroni now, who's holding on to 6th position, as either someone has made an early pit stop or fallen off the tree gas. Oh, it must have been Mike Young. That's who it was. He had an issue coming out of turn 2, caught too much dirt or the sand trap that they have there on the outside, and received damage. So he is, I'm not sure if he's retired, but he has fallen basically to the back of the field, as Dan Quaroni has a lot of oversteer coming out of turn 2, holds on to it that time, and still managed to keep just enough speed to keep Verness behind him. And because they're coming down onto that very long straightaway before the hairpin, that means that the grunt of the McLaren, where it has its advantage in a straight line, that means he'll hold on to that position. Gralti, meanwhile, is getting the nice draft coming down into turn 5. He's going to be late on the brakes, coming up on the inside to take that position away from Verness. And he does. He makes it over to the almost to the curb there on the outside. Oh, but there's contact between him and Verness. And
Holy, that's
takes
a
both
big
of them
mess.
out.
Who just went? Was that Gralti that just went off?
Yeah, that was Gralti, yep. And Verness doing about a 4-point turn there to try and get his car pointed in the right direction.
Oh man. So my randomness right now is, you know what's not cool, is hitting your elbow right on the corner of a wood chair. Just like a really pointy bit, just sucked really badly. There's Chuck Chambliss coming to the pits, and looks like that's Dan Gralti up ahead of him going into the pits there, making an early pit stop after that spin. Gonna try and take advantage of some fresh rubber to see if he can put down some quick laps.
Also might have some damage too. That seemed like it was a fairly significant hit to the left rear of his McLaren. David Scott very wide going in through turn 1, and that only means that Ryan Huff was able to stick his nose there on the inside, and he finishes the pass there going through turn 2. That moves him up into 4th position. Jimmy Burris, meanwhile, has managed to catch back up to Lance Snyder. I think the last time we saw Burris, he was attempting to make a pass on Snyder and spun his car going through turn 4. So he's managed to make up the distance. Looks like they are fighting for 12th position in GT3. Meanwhile, Brent Briles and Jerry Morsdorf, excuse me. These guys here in 10th and 11th. And Briles is going to take a look up on the inside and easily gets the pass done going into turn 5.
Yeah, from a distance, that's impossible to tell those guys apart. Yet again.
Despite the fact that they went with totally different colors this time. Just not enough of the color on the car. And what is this? This is Todd Carver and John Kuzlin fighting. So Todd Carver deciding to take an earlier pit stop. Of course, John was Kuzlin, of course, probably one of the first to take his pit stop. I think there was two other Corvettes, but we're not sure if that was their strategy or if they had damage. So both of those guys pitting a bit early. Todd Carver currently in 9th position after that pit stop. So he has a lot of traffic in front of him before a lot of the pit stops cycle through. We'll have to see how that strategy plays out and if he gets back out into the lead after everyone takes their pit stop.
See, Marty Jeffries just come flying through the inside where those guys are battling it out, which is Shows there is quite a bit of speed difference in the McLarens there. There's Kevin Lawrence getting passed for position by Dan Gralti, I believe.
Yep, he's going wide, and Galti should have no problem. Yep, there we go.
And that means that Gralti probably doesn't have too much damage, if any, on his car, so that he is quite a ways down now after the incident going into turn 6, but he can do his best. He's done his pit stop, so he can do his best to try and make up as many spots as possible as we are on board with Wyatt Vosser, who gets into, who is that, Alex Baleo, going through turn 9, who does a good job of keeping the car pointed in the right direction, if I'm honest. And
are you
Foster,
honest?
I am honest, yes.
Excellent. Well, then there you go. Is it Baleo or Balau?
I don't know. Baleo? That's how I want to read it, but it could be Balau.
I think it's probably below.
Yeah, Brazilian. It seems to be Portuguese kind of. Yeah, we'll just mix it up here and there. If we go 50-50, we'll just get right part
we'll
of the
say
test.
both, yeah. If we say both, that means we're right no matter what.
Alex Baleo. There's Kuzlin coming down the right side there, but Burris, you can see, just does not have the grunt to get past his McLaren. But does he have the braking? Maybe a little. Nope.
Not quite. It's so close there. You can tell that the Ford GT looks like it's a little bit, or his Ford GT rather, is a little bit better under braking, but because it's still lacking in the top line or the top end speed. Really struggles to get alongside to attempt the pass going into after those long straightaways. And now back with Foster and Balau, who it looks like Balau went wide all on his own that time. So but he manages to keep the position. Ended up on the inside there, so it just worked out for him.
Yeah, Wyatt Foster starting at the from the pit lane, I believe. He's now up to 7th overall and in class, so unsurprising good drive by him. And now this is, Daniel Verness behind Victor Beltran there. Beltran's got a very similar car to those Turn 1 Heroes cars, so it's kind of hard to tell them apart sometimes.
Yeah, he does. It's just about as similar as you can get using the default iRacing schemes. And Burr is putting all of the pressure he can on Lance Snyder there. He was probably about as close as he could get without making a little bit of contact with the rear diffuser of that McLaren. And he gets a nice run coming out of the final corner, but you can see he's sticking just with him. Maybe he can pull out and try and do an out-braking maneuver. He's going to get a little bit alongside. He's going to force Snyder to go wide through turn 1, and that is the pass done for Jeremy Burris.
Didn't spin out that time, so very good that time. Oh, there comes Wyatt Foster down the inside of Blau. And it looks like he takes, it was very bold of him right there. Took a small mistake from Blau and just took the position from him.
And not too far up the road is David Scott, so that is his next target. And we'll go back with the almost identical GT3 cars.
I mean, one of them is a McLaren, the other one is a Ford GT.
Yes, one of them has a very nice body on it, and one of them not so much.
Now, it really is remarkable looking at them side by side there, how much worse the Ford GT looks.
Yeah, it's not Ford GT. I do like the actual street car that Ford produced for however many years it was, maybe 4 or something like that, but don't really care for it as much in the GT trim.
Yeah, it's really designed to be kind of a standalone, like, street car, kind of hark back to the old Ford GT. Is it the GT40 back in the 60s? Yeah, kind of, that, which when you slap wings on it or whatever, it doesn't quite have the same effect.
Yeah, it's a throwback to the old successful racing car, the old GT40, but that car was successful, and no, we're not under attack. It's just 4th of July here, and if you could hear that, it was... I don't know if you could hear that, but there was a massive explosion just outside my house. So no, we're not.
That's what happens in Grand Rapids all the time, stuff blowing up.
Yeah. But yeah, the GT40, very successful racing car, Le Mans winner. The Ford, what is it? What do they call it? Ford GTR? Not so much.
Yeah, it never really had any factory support, so it was actually fairly tough to get it fielded as a race car. But I think the best it ever did was the Robinson team privateers took it to third at Le Mans 1 year, 2 years ago, I think.
Jeez, Anthony really lighting up the tires there.
Yeah, Kerry is looking on the inside of his teammate. Oh, doesn't look like it's going to happen as Anthony, was, as Brian said, lighting up the tires.
Yeah, massive twitch of oversteer there going through turn 2. At this point in the race, the tires are feeling like crap. It's almost like driving on ice, it felt, at least from the cockpit, in the situation where you've had someone, racing very close to you like this for pretty much the entire race. The tires felt like ice.
I think Wyatt Foster just made a pass on Dan Moreira there, so nope. David Scott he just made a pass on. I got some craziness happening here, and Todd Carver fans, there he is, and left of your screen, the number 40. Get a good look, because we're not going to see him very often during this race, I don't think.
Well, he's made his way back up into 8th position. Remember, he pitted a bit earlier than the rest of his class. I don't think most of his class has actually made a pit stop yet, with the exception of a couple entries. So, he is gambling that an early pit stop will be much faster than one that is a little bit later. So again, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out.
Dan Gralty trying to make up some time here, try to get past Lance Snyder, who I don't believe has pitted yet, so Gralty's wanting to take advantage of these tires here and get past him as quickly as possible. I think he's going to do it right here, maybe, I don't know. I guess we'll find out later.
I think we're under attack too here, Anthony. Oh,
don't you guys wait till tomorrow to have your fireworks?
Well,
no,
some people
it's
just can't wait.
it's basically start a month before and then save a few and do them every once in a while for a month afterwards. And also, while we were looking at that, there was a pass for second place in GT1. Actually, it's first place right now. I was used to Todd Carver leading, but Kevin Sawala has taken the lead away from Lauren Bateman. We're taking a look at Todd Carver right now as he gets past Marty Jeffries for 7th position.
Who did not fight him in the least. I really think he moved over for him.
On board Brian Carey, looking forward to a twitchy Anthony Muniz. Not going to pit this lap.
Dirty windshield from someone going off the track.
We're past halfway through the race. I believe this was a 70 or 75. This was only 70. So we are just about to hit the 70-minute mark, or halfway mark, rather.
Right now. Was I correct there, or is my timing off with you?
Perfect for me. I just hope it ends right in the final video. It's close.
Whatever, it's fine. This isn't the wide world of sports here, folks. We can afford a margin of error. Does that still exist anyway, the wide world of sports? Oh, hold on. I will be right back. I have being summoned from, I don't know, whatever. So, I'll be back.
Well, while Brian contacts his home planet, we'll take a look at Lance Snyder and Brent Briles. Briles very slow for some reason, and doesn't look like he was going into the pits unless he accidentally missed the entry. Oh, and there's contact there between Russell Gordon and Kevin Lawrence. Oh, no, not Russell Gordon. Kevin Lawrence and Lauren Bateman there in the Corvette. My mistake.
Yeah, it was light contact, but it was enough to turn them both around, really, and Lauren Bateman losing a spot to Mike Kelly. Mike Kelly now up in second. Oh, man, that's close for Ness on Victor Beltran. Couldn't do it on the first try. Oh, I had to hold up there on the second attempt, so he would have had a run, but couldn't find the space. He's right on his tail. Once again, though, going into this left-right section, I don't think there's going to be any opportunity for him. Maybe there is. Nope.
You almost have to.
He's doing so much better in the corners, but he has to back out of it.
Yeah, you almost have to force someone into a bit of a mistake there, or hope that they make one on their own going through that section. It's possible. I mean, if they go a little bit wide and you're brave on the brakes, and everything kind of works out just perfectly in your favor, it's possible. We've seen it a couple times, but not all that often. So we go back to Brian Carey. These guys, all three of us, pretty much the exact same distance apart as we've been since about lap maybe 3 or 4. Brian taking a little bit of a peek there. Probably just to spot his braking point, if anything.
I think I was trying to crash Indy, actually.
Well, you did a pretty poor job.
Yeah, I know. I gotta work on that.
There we go. There's the pass. Reness on the inside. Oh no, he doesn't have the legs down the straight. He does it in the corner, but he loses it on the straight.
Yeah, he's actually seems to be quite slow on the straights compared to, I believe it was Jeremy Burris we were looking at, who was basically about even with the McLaren. So either Beltran is running a very, very low wing to kind of make up that difference, or Verness is running a higher wing.
By for those of you unfamiliar with metaphors, the cars don't actually have legs. What we're referring to is engine power for the more simplistic explanation of what we're talking about there. Which I understand you all knew, but I felt necessary to mention that.
Yeah, we should definitely design a car with legs, and then we should race it.
Yabba dabba doo.
Well, have you seen those videos of Big Dog?
Of what?
Go to YouTube, type in Big Dog. It's a robot designed by a local company, and it's creepy as can be.
Oh, is that the one where they keep kicking it to knock it over and it bounces?
When Bateman goes off and Mike Kelly with the spot, first spot back.
That's for the lead.
Yeah,
I was. We're talking about creepy dogs.
It does bounce, yes. He shoves it and it balances itself, yes.
Like he's literally on ice and he shoves it and that is pretty creepy. You feel bad for it too, but then you realize it's just a robot and doesn't have feelings yet. Well, probably by now, but...
I think that's Boston Dynamics is the company name, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that is correct, because they have a bunch of really crazy, creepy things.
Yeah, they're building the Terminator, just so everyone knows.
They are. Aren't they the ones, too, that they do those, swarms of, little mini helicopter things that can...
I don't think that's them. I think that's actually University. I don't remember which one, but I think it's University.
Also creepy.
Yes. And not so creepy is Muniz, Kerry, and Ainsko running nose to tail here. At some point, they're going to have to pit.
Speak for yourself, I guess. But yes, you are correct. Eventually, we will have to pit. We cannot run the entire race on a full tank, so...
Oh, and Ainsko going to try and take a peek of it up on the inside of Carey. And he's still alongside.
Oh,
he got a tap there from... Yeah, he got a tap there, and I think another tap again as... who is that? That is Sawa going by, I believe, in the GT1 Corvette. And that really, I think, kind of helped Brian Carey to stay in that third place position. Yeah, Ainsko had to back off a little bit.
A little bit of the Bathurst bump there from Savoie.
And as I'm sure you've noticed, I think every one of us in that group went off just a tad bit at turn 2 to kick up some dust and make that windscreen of... Oh, wow!
That was a big one.
Well, I can't blame Stoll for doing that. It looked like he was opening the door, went in wide, and then closed it down while Stoll was braking.
Yeah, it didn't look like Stoll ran wide, though, at all there, too.
No, Stoll didn't. Yeah, absolutely not.
Just be one of those things.
Now, back with Ainsko. Let's see if all of us run a little bit wide to help dirty up that windscreen of Carey. Oh, just me that time.
That's all it takes, really, is just you.
Ainsko going to look to the inside again. Carey staying wide, although that is a viable line going through turn 4.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm able to pull it just a little bit down the straightaway there. I think overall, Robin's got the better times, like better speed going through that corner there, but able to get a decent exit to pull up just enough that he's not able to overtake. It's a pretty sweet shot, actually.
And Todd Carver just behind. He is still looking to come back out in the lead of GT1 after all of the other entries make their pit stop. He's running in 6th.
Wyatt Foster for second, and taken easily. Lauren Bateman is not a slow driver by any means, but Wyatt Foster is kind of just one corner, and there he goes.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if Bateman didn't put up too much of a fight there. I didn't know. I'm sure everyone's aware how fast Foster is, so its resistance is futile, as it were.
Oh, board references. We got myself chasing Anthony.
And I thought maybe Ainscoe was on the inside, Kerry holding a little bit of a wider line going through turn 1. But again, the twitchy oversteer prevails. Brian Kerry really close now, but you can see the twitchy oversteer on Ainscoe was pretty significant. He's fallen the farthest he's been from our little group.
Man, that is quite a fireworks show going on outside.
Luckily, it doesn't seem to be coming through your mic all that much, so it doesn't sound like your house is being bombed.
No, I mean, it's relatively quiet. It's far enough away that I'm sure the fireworks aren't that big.
See a nice dirty windscreen for Brent Briles as well, so he has yet to make a pit stop as he's going to take a peek up the inside of Snyder and not able to get it done. Snyder taking the apex there through turn 1, and he holds on to that top 10 position.
Yeah, I apologize a little bit. The frog in my throat here, so every so often I might sound like a gorilla or something. I don't know if that's really bad or good, but just FYI. Uh-oh, Anthony's off. Oh, and ooh, that is a wall.
Ooh, that was a hard hit.
That's not going to be good for the suspension or resale.
Oh, and yeah, like Brian Carey getting involved there with some contact. I believe that was Timothy Stoll.
Oh, it was Mike Kelly, I think.
Mike Kelly coming through. Because he's twitching his car just a little bit, make sure there's no bit of damage. I think must have been Kelly running wide as he made the pass going through turn 4. As Kuzlin makes his way through, opening the door just a bit as we come under attack once again. Opening the door just a bit for Ainscoe, but Brian Carey still doing a good job to hold on to that now second place position. And while we had built up a pretty big gap, I mean, I'm still being shown in 4th place with damage, so that's a bit surprising. Jerry Morsdorf looks like he is exiting the pit lane. And he does have someone. I was wondering if he did.
Russell
but he
Gordon
runs wide. So Russell Gordon had a chance there to pick up a spot through pit stops as they were racing out of pit lane, but took it just a bit too quickly going through turn 1 and fell off the circuit. As Brent Briles now able to get past Lance Snyder, but he greatly overshoots his braking there going into turn 5. I think, no, he wasn't able to hold on to it. I thought for a second he was somehow going to be able to hold on to that position, but Snyder saw he was coming through much faster, delayed his turn in just a bit, and got the cut back on Briles and holds on to that 9th position.
Lance Snyder's trying to put the toe hold on Brent Briles there, but we'll see who comes out on top of that one. Actually watched a little bit of that today, the Tommy Toe Hold show. Actually very, very funny.
I still haven't checked it out.
It does help if you know a lot about UFC, like all the players in it. But oh, there comes Browse to the inside. Yeah, don't touch him. Ooh, that was close. That was a close little move there, but finished off all right.
Uh-oh.
Not so much there, though.
And, unlike myself, he's able to avoid running into the wall. So,
that's what Anthony should have done.
Yes, yep. I almost saved it. We were on board, so you could see I corrected the first oversteer, but then I think that turned into overcorrection, and that ended up shooting me into the wall. So that is how not to do it. Bryles showed you how to do it. As Daniel Gralt here, he's fighting with Ainscoe. Ainscoe made his pit stop, as we know. Gralty also made his pit stop after an earlier incident. And where is this for? This is for 5th position in GT3. So, despite the troubles that Gralty has been involved in this race, he's having a fairly strong recovery, fighting for that top 5 spot. And this is a fight between Russell Gordon and Aaron Heyer as they battle for 12th position.
Yeah, those Red Bull cars, all 3 of them there, look pretty solid. I'm not sure which one is my favorite, but I think Mike Young's number 21 there, but Aaron's is also pretty sweet too. Dan's is good too, but I like the darker colors on it. More F1-like.
Yeah, I think the black is also my favorite, but they are, all of them, very nice designs. Oh, and a lot of tire smoke there going through turn 2. That was leading directly for the tire barriers there on the outside, so that is someone's race over, I think. Although we did not see who it was. Also, just a quick update on Tard Carver and John Kuslin, both of those guys pitting early in the race. Todd Carver has made his way up into 5th position, and there are a few guys that are yet to pit. Actually, I think everyone in front of him has yet to pit, so it is quite possible that he could come out in front of them. Wyatt Foster currently leading the class, and John Kuslin, meanwhile, has moved his way up into P7. So just a couple spots behind Todd Carver. That could be quite interesting. I think those guys will be contenders for a podium spot once pit stops play out.
It'd be kind of like I said before, it'd be helpful if we knew exactly, if we kept better track of who's been in the pits and who hasn't, but those McLarens must be coming up to a pit stop, like the leaders there. It's been almost at the end of this race here.
We're going to be taking a look up on the inside of Gordon going into turn 1. Had a great run coming off the final corner. And let's see, yep, he easily completes that pass going into turn 1, so well done. Meanwhile, Brent Bryles gaining on Lance Snyder going down towards the hairpin. Going to try and outbrake him this time. This time he's done a much better job of getting his car slowed down. It looks like he's going to complete the pass. Indeed he does. Yes, Snyder not going to be able to fight back from that far back. And that moves Bryles up into P7.
Well, there was a big wiggle there for Chuck Chambliss coming through that tight section there. The last couple corners here are actually pretty fast and pretty fun to drive, but the couple corners leading up to it are pretty infuriating. So. Using a new headset for this race here, the commentary, and it's pinching a little bit of my glasses, causing my ears to hurt a lot, which not really necessary for you guys to know, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. That and my elbow, it's been a pretty rough commentary physically.
And you always hurt yourself doing these things.
Well, hurt, gassed myself out, one of the two.
And there's the @Van Yokohama sign. As you can see, it's beautiful. And hiding behind it is Lance Snyder in the pits.
Lurking, if you will.
I think Lance is trying to tell us that he'd like Yokohama to send him some racing tires. Now, why he would need those, I do not know, but I guess no one's going to want to pass up free tires.
Yeah, I could maybe insert a Pirelli joke there, but I'm one of the few, well, I'm not sure if I'm one of the few people or whatever that does not blame Pirelli at all for the F1 mess that has happened recently. Although I find they're...
No, it's not their fault. They were told to make the tires they made, so I don't think it's really their fault.
Hey, there's me.
And it looks like you have... Okay, there we go. I was going to say, it looks like they put on 4 punctured tires, but
also
better
notice,
now.
Notice the front of the car there. It has my number with the my Canadian flag there and my name on the side. That's the new thing that iRacing allows you to do with the paints there, which... unfortunately, we can't do it with training paints. I don't know if anyone else has done something similar, but allows you to do the different decals in the car and place the number paints. Anthony can probably tell you a little bit more about it because he's obviously the one that has designed this car. So, but it's I think it's really awesome in the future. Maybe we get some of the other guys for this series who are watching this to maybe consider trying something different there or coming up with a standardized ISRA one for us.
Yep, I know that Trading Paints is looking to change the way that their software works to include the new features that iRacing allows us to do, which basically gets rid of a lot of the, not for every car, it doesn't work for the Corvette, that big ugly green number plate is still there, but they allow you to replace a lot of the how do you say that word? Contingency, something like that. All the extra...
Oh, I can't even say it now.
Yeah, see?
Broken my vocabulary.
Yeah, I cursed you. But yeah, just basically like the number plates and some of the default logos that come on a lot of the cars. Now you can replace those and either use your own or have none. In this case, for our car, I decided to go with a... Ooh, as Bryle spins coming out of turn number 7, makes contact with the wall.
Didn't avoid it that time, so...
And his steering input looks fairly straight, so hopefully he avoided any serious damage. But yeah, anyway, we went with more of an FIA. I think I actually modeled this off of a number plate, the FIA GTC, or not GTC, GT series used a year or two ago. So I do like that new feature that iRacing added in.
And yeah, that's there's higher coming up behind Anthony there. As you can see, his rear wing is not set to factory specs, so
no.
That plus some other things.
Trying out a different aero config and new suspension settings.
Yeah, he redesigned his suspension with a hammer and a tire wall.
Turns out that's the design of racing suspension is not as effective when you design it in the Top Gear manner. But actually, this is for position. That's why I'm not totally letting Aaron go by at this moment in time. I wanted to see if I indeed had any pace at all to keep up with him. Doesn't seem like I did, so he'll be able to get by here going into turn 1.
Yeah, well, that's taking the long outside road there, letting some of these guys get through. These Corvettes really look like they're just flying going down into that corner there. And there I am up ahead of them. Hopefully I'm not going to get destroyed by them, but...
Now, this must have been after the point where you've had a spin. Is that correct? Oh, and it looks like you are sort of getting destroyed there by them, as both of those guys. These guys are Kelly and Chambers fighting for position. Brian Carey also fighting for position with the two GT3 cars just in front, Gralty and Verness. So a lot of battling going on in a fairly small area of the track.
Yeah, so these pit stops have shaken out. That's just like I say here. We got Daniel Verness in 4th place and Jeremy Burris in 8th place. Where earlier in the race they were down in the low teens. So you can see how even though the GT doesn't have the speed over a single qualifying lap, and perhaps early in the race, over a race distance, especially a tighter track, I mean, Spa and Road America obviously can be exceptions to the long straightaways, but looks like they're still pretty competitive. Not ultimately competitive, but close enough for a quick driver to hustle it along at a good pace.
And there's a pretty good example of just how the Ford GT does not have the top-end speed that the McLaren does, but another good example of how the Ford GT rather is a bit quicker through the corners because you can see the gap has pretty much closed back up to what it was before they went onto that long straight. Really, I think this track, while it is better for the Ford GT, it's not exactly the best place for it. Because it's very, very curvy, which is good. Because the Ford is very quick through the curvy sections, but the only really long straights are the long back straight between turn 4. Oh, am I missing something?
He just kind of slid off a bit there and lost ground to Victor. So yes, curvy bits?
There aren't really that many, I guess you would call them medium straights. There's the front straight, which is fairly long, and there's the back straight, which is very long, both favoring the McLaren. I guess between 7 and 8, it would be sort of a medium straight, but really almost like, because the McLaren really excels in 5th and 6th gear over the Ford GT, so that's where you gain a lot of your extra time. So maybe if we had, I'm trying to think of what circuits we have in iRacing that don't have very long straights. I guess Barber might be one that would might actually be give the advantage to the Ford GT, which we are running this season.
Mid-Ohio, perhaps, too. I mean, that straightaway is longish, but tons of twisty ones. Point is, Road America, probably not so much. Motegi, it's got a long enough straight on it, a couple of them, but... Sao Paulo, probably, the Interlagos, not quite as much. That straightaway is pretty long. Mosport, though, maybe.
Yeah, Mosport will probably be pretty good, although I do think that the McLaren should be able to get up into 6th gear going down the long straight. But it'll be interesting. There's a few tracks that I think should be fun for the McLaren or the Ford GTs. And also, Brian, you need to not hold your mic open because we can hear an echo.
Oh, sorry. Just leaning on the button by accident. I apologize for saying Mosport. It's Mosport, not Mosport. I just get lazy sometimes. Mosport.
Then why does they have a corner called Moss Corner if it's not Mosport?
Because that's named after Sterling Moss, not the track. It's a strange question I wasn't expecting to get.
The encyclopedia with Carrie is on the case.
It is basically my home track.
Is it closer than Montreal will be when we do eventually get that in the service?
Much closer.
Okay.
Closer. Montreal, probably 7 hours drive from here. Mosport, like 2.5. Oh, 2.5 probably.
Oh, and Kerry having a nice fight here with Ainscough as they made their way through that final curvy section. Looked like Ainscough may have been just a little bit too wide going through turn 8. That really helped Kerry to close the gap. And what are they now? Less than a second, 0.2 of a second. So Kerry going to be fighting hard to get back past Ainscough for 4th position. There he is. You can see how close the gap is, or I guess how non-existent the gap is. Kerry, it's a great run coming through turn 2. I don't think he really has anywhere to use the momentum, though. Gonna take a peek going up on the... Oh, no. Thought he might take a peek going up into turn 4, but he'll fall in behind and try and get a strong run coming off of the corner.
No, it's really, really tough in that curvy straight because it feels like you got plenty of room. These cars sort of have to use the whole track.
I don't know, Ainscough kind of lost a lot of pace there. I mean, he definitely was going quicker than me up to this point here, and then suddenly I was battling with him, so I don't know what happened, if he suffered damage sometime before that or not, or if he just tires went off, but I was able to suddenly challenge him.
Well, like we said earlier in the race, the tires, I don't actually think it's tire wear. It's the tires heating up, or I guess I'm not 100% sure how the iRacing tire model works, but definitely lose a lot of grip. And if he overdrove his car for a lap trying to fight with Verness or Gralty, Brent Briles, and that was lucky to not make contact with anyone else.
I think that'll do it. I'll be honest, that does not look... It was weird how you could see how the outside, the left side of his car that did not impact the wall, got smushed.
Yep, we'll go back with Brian Carey and Ainscough now, Robin Ainscough now. Oh, and Ainscough nearly losing it, exiting turn 4, or turn 2 rather.
That's all it took.
Yeah, that is all it took. That was a fairly large mistake. So I think what's happened is Ainscough was racing hard, fighting with Verness, who nearly loses exiting turn 4. And I think he probably just stressed his tires a little bit too much, and that extra heat really lost him quite a bit of pace. And here, where we already didn't have that much grip in the circuit, if you overheat your tires, that's really detrimental to your pace. As Briles is still out on track after that incident, trying to complete the final 6 minutes. He loses a spot there to Russell Gordon, so he falls down into 14th position. And back with Ainscough now. He's going to try and come back at Carey here. He looks to the outside going through turn 8 and nearly loses the car once again, spinning the rear tires as they made their way through or to turn number 9. You can see Carey being much more smooth and opens up a fairly large gap between himself and Ainscough. So definitely think he's overdriving his car at this point, and that's not helping his pace one bit.
Burris still battling Beltran. He's just not able to get through. We got John Rosettos behind them, trying to get by. Rosettos in... Oh, we're not scoring him right now. I don't know where he's at, but Chuck Chambliss is right behind him. Somewhere outside of the top 12, I assume.
Man, that was only good enough to get past Burris. Wow. So he'll have to continue fighting to get past Beltran to see if that has any impact on the battle between Beltran and Burris.
And you can see, he's going to try and sneak through going into the curvy section down towards turn 4.
There. That's going to screw these guys up.
Yeah, you can see that there's some front damage on Rosetto's Corvette. I'm not sure, obviously we can't tell how much of that is affecting him, but it seems fairly significant. He was the one that was spun around there between turns 9 and 10 on the opening lap that kind of caused the big debacle in the front of it. Yeah, it was Kuzlin. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was not Kuzlin. It was Rosetto's.
Was it Rosetto's?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Rosetto's. That's where he got that front end damage on his car and kind of mixed up the front of the GT3 field. Oh, as Burris nearly loses it coming out of turn 8. This was, I think, looks like Chuck Chambliss coming through has helped to reclose that gap between Burris and Beltran, so that's nice to see. Oh, it looks like Rosetto's was off again there, going through turn number 9, or coming out of turn number 9, so he's now back behind this battle once again.
Yeah, so this is the closest battle on the track at the moment. We've got Wyatt Foster with just under 4-second lead on Kevin Savoy, Lauren Bateman in third, Todd Carver fourth, John Kuzlin fifth, with Ryan Huff only 2 seconds behind John Kuzlin in sixth there. They got James Collin leading Daniel Rolte about 15 seconds, Daniel Verness another second and a half behind him, and myself another 3 seconds behind that, with Robin Ainscoe now almost 5 seconds behind me in fifth position. So that's the top 5 in both classes right now.
And it doesn't appear that the early pit stop has worked out well for Todd Carver. Remember, he pitted from first position about 45 minutes left on the clock around that time, and he's lost, well, effectively 3 positions because of that, but we'll say 2 because Wyatt Foster's leading. So not working out all that well for him, but it did work out well for John Kuzlin. He picked up a few spots because he pitted very, very early with about 52 minutes left in the race, so that has benefited him, but not so much Todd Carver. Ooh, and someone's had an off there exiting turn 4. So that's Mike Kelly, I believe, in the Corvette. Yes, it is. That's Mike Kelly's Corvette, so that drops him down back behind David Scott now, who's taken the 7th position away from him.
And Mike Kelly is pushing hard here. We've got a minute 40 left, so it's all depending on Wyatt Foster, the overall race leader, comes across here. It's going to determine how many laps are left, but hopefully we'll get another couple laps of these guys to see what can happen.
And Chuck Chambliss and John Rosetto's fighting it out, and Chambliss pulling well off the circuit, letting a whole host of cars go by. I'm not exactly sure why. He did lose a position there to John Rosetto's, but it also looked like some of the leaders were passing through. I believe that was Wyatt Foster was... Oh no, he must have been lapping one of his teammates. So yeah, not exactly sure the reasoning behind that. As Jeremy Burris still continues to stare at that rear diffuser of Victor Beltran's McLaren. Only going to have, I believe, 1 more lap left. So they should be coming up to the white flag once they cross the timing line here. So he's really going to have to make a last-ditch effort to try and pick up that 7th position away from Victor Beltran.
Kevin Savoy here is really, well, he's going to stick his nose in here. He's got about 5 seconds behind the leader here, but yep, plopped himself right in the middle of that battle.
Oh, I'm not sure. He almost made contact if he didn't make contact there.
No, we're with David Scott. Did, here, big wiggle, big wiggle. Oh no. Oh, that sucks.
While we were looking at him, and that was why.
Alex Blau is 24 seconds behind right now, so hopefully David can finish that, but we'll see. It's going to be a close one there, depending on the damage. And Burris, I don't think he's got it, folks. He's way too far behind, especially with that Corvette kind of, you know, getting in there, not helping the battle.
Well, and I think they probably dropped back further because I'm not sure if he actually made contact, but he was very close to making contact, and I think the braking to not make the contact with Victor Beltran cost a bit of time, but as he makes his way past the McLaren of Beltran, he does close the gap right back up. But only 2 corners left, and a long straightaway should mean that Beltran will hold on to the 7th position unless he makes a mistake here in the final corner. Well, we won't see that, though, because we have some of the cars finishing now. Wyatt Foster takes the win in GT1 with Kevin Savoy finishing 2nd. Lauren Bateman, we didn't see him, but he finished 3rd. Todd Carver in 4th position. And there's Jerry Morristor finishing in P9. John Kuzlin doing a good job to finish in 5th place, with Ryan Hoff not too far behind him, actually, following in P6.
Oh. And James Cullen finishing in style there right up against the pit wall. We should hopefully see some epic donuts from him after this race. Some ED, if you will.
And Brian Carey following Verness, finishing in 4th position.
That's a really good finish there for Verness, who was behind like 7th for a while.
Yeah, it's a podium for a 4GT
so,
driver,
yeah.
so that's big, considering how far off the pace they were at Spa, but Verness still showing well there.
All right, well, we're looking at the standings. Todd Carver now with 41 points, going Bateman down 2, Mike Kelly down 3 in the top 3 there, so a nice close battle. Looks like the drop week is not included, so maybe that's going to happen next week. John Kuzland in 4th, and then we go over to GT3, where I probably won't give myself enough time again. James Cullen with the perfect score, big gap to Dan Gralty. Then Brian Carey just 2 points behind him 3rd, Daniel Verness 4th with 19 points down. Anthony Muniz now about 5 points down from Verness. And then Corey Davis and Jason Molina tied the 6th and 7th at the moment, but tied for 6th really, as we watch James Cullen sort of drifted on into the sunset.
Actually, pretty hard to do any drifts in this car because the engine is limited so much.
Yeah, this McLaren here, the road car, what is it, like 700, 800 horsepower, where this car is limited to about 400?
This one, and I don't think it's quite that much, but 450 in this car and maybe about close to 600 in the real one.
Well, next we're off to Road Atlanta, then Sears Point, Infineon, Sonoma, then Road America on July 1st, Twin Rig Motegi at night on the 15th. Barber, that's a 2-week break, or we skip a week there, notice, for the July 4th weekend. Barber on the 22nd, and then we go off. We have our second Enduro of the season. That should be a really good one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Epic donuts.
Yeah, Cullen finally getting it right. Ever so right. Nicely done.
Need more smoke there, though, iRacing.
Yeah, we need some more smoke effects.
All right, well, 3 of us are about to run off and do another commentary, so we'll leave you with that. And thank you, as always, to the admins and racers of the league who make it all possible. Be one of them. Come join us at ISRAleague.com. Of course, to Anthony Muniz and Brian Carey for their outstanding commentary, and to Z1 Simwheel for their sponsorship of the series. We'll see you again real soon. Have a good night.